Hi everyone, I just wanted to do a video that I've been meaning to do in the beginning of August because it has been just over a year since I started my business, and I just wanted to do a quick update and tell you guys how things have been going and what I've been up to in this past year that has flown by so fast, and say hi to Sophie. And so, yeah, so most of you know that I started my own travel coaching business right after I spent 10 years traveling around the world and turned everything that I knew and loved about travel into my own passionate business. At the end of this, I'm going to, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I will answer whatever about travel, business, me, my dog, anything. I can give you guys some weird fun facts about myself. But anyways, yeah, so I started my own business, travel coaching, and when I did that, I realized how much I loved helping other people start their own businesses. So that's when I launched the Travel Coach Network, and right now I run a dual business, one side, which is where I help other passionate travelers build their own travel coaching business or travel-related business. Doesn't necessarily have to be travel coaching, on their own, whatever they're passionate about, find their own niche, and grow a business that's authentic to themselves and what they love so much about travel. And then on the other side of that, as a travel coach myself, I focus on helping companies implement travel wellness into their employee programs and business traveler initiatives and whatnot. I actually just got done doing the Global Workplace Wellness Summit as a guest speaker, where I talked about the wellness benefits of travel on the workplace. So that's really exciting and fun. I'll be sharing that with you guys when I get to the recording. But yeah, so I just want to do a little update, and I spent 6 months traveling. I was in South America right in the beginning of starting my business. So this past year, 5 to 6 months throughout South America, which was really adventurous but really tough when I was trying to find internet, trying to work on my work. But one thing that traveling has definitely, or starting a business has definitely done to me, is change the way that I travel and the way that I see travel. Because before, for 10 years, traveling was just fun and I could do whatever I want whenever I wanted. But now my approach is so different because I am very much more mindful of my destinations I go to and why I go there, regarding internet connection, networking, places where businesses are at. So I just wanted to say hi to Sophie. So in the past year, about 3 months ago, we adopted Sophie. She's 3 years old, and she's the little love of my life. So she has been my assistant with me working, but she is bored because I work from home, and she'd rather be outside all day, every day. So I think she wants to get done. Yeah. Say bye, Sophie. You say bye. So that is what I have been up to. I'm going to be taking my business back on the road in a few months to Europe and talking with some companies out there and really just expanding what I do. So I don't know how many of you guys follow what I do on my page or my Instagram, but I have been gaining so much media attention for my ideas and my thoughts and stuff. So I just really wanted to share also some business tips with you guys, or if you're maybe thinking about starting a business, or also some travel tips if you're just interested in more about travel. I love just to answer any questions for you guys. So 3 things that I would recommend for, or I would say business-wise. I always tell my clients to really focus on the inner work that is necessary to be able to establish a really solid foundation for what you're doing. And also just put yourself out there to network. The more connections, than genuine connections and relationships that you make with people, the more you're really going to see a growth in what you're doing and traction in what you're doing. A lot of times it's really people are afraid to put themselves out there, put their ideas out there. It might get shut down. It might be intimidating. Even me doing this Facebook Live, I don't have a structure for what I'm talking about, but I just wanted to show up and say hi, and also say thank you to those who have been following and supporting everything that I do. And it has definitely been quite the adventure for me, because when I started my business, literally I created an idea of my own, came out of nowhere, wasn't wasn't taught it by someone else. I literally took what I knew and loved and learned about travel in the industry and other travelers and created something that felt right for me and what I was looking for so long in a career. And also created solutions for problems that I saw in the travel industry, in the corporate world, in business travel and whatnot. So my ideas constantly are evolving, which is also something I would recommend for anyone who's looking to start a business, is to make sure that you are open to evolving your ideas. Just because a lot of times people get stuck on an initial idea and they just stay gung-ho with that and they don't want to change at all. But when you think about some of the most successful companies, they started as an initial idea and changed into what they are today and evolved to what they are today. And like when you think of Facebook itself or Amazon, so really allow this evolution of your thought process and your ideas. And really a best way to do that, oh hi mom, the best way to do that is to do your research. And that's another thing I really encourage people to do, is make sure that you're doing your research. Research is something that's really going to, I always say, you don't know what you don't know. Research is something that's going to be able to strengthen what you do and why you're doing it. It's going to help you figure out even more problems that exist and voids that exist in whatever industry that you're interested in, and really give you inspiration and perspective on how what needs to be done. And that is when you take your inner work of why you're passionate about something and why you're looking to make an impact in something or in an industry, and take that and apply that to these problems and voids that you find and figure out a framework. And that's another step that I would always talk about my clients, are to make sure you create a solid framework for yourself. And a framework is going to be, it's like a bulleted list essentially. It's a structure, a formation of all your ideas. So, and this framework you can go and apply to different pieces of your business. Your framework is going to apply to your story that you tell, your any products or services that you provide, whether you do one-on-one services or you create a product like a course or a program or write a book or give workshops or presentations. This framework is going to be the foundation of all of that. So for instance, my framework that I've created with the travel coach approach has a lot to do with human connection and authenticity and transformation and experiences and well-being. So these are just points throughout my business that represents everything that I do. So create this framework for yourself and your ideas, and to put a little bit more perspective on it, so that you know how, no matter what issue comes along or problem you're trying to solve, you can go and you can apply that framework to, my dog's trying to eat a fly, to what you're trying to accomplish or solve. And it just has consistency for yourself as well. But doing that inner work and figuring out why you're doing this, what has happened in your life that inspired you to do what you're doing, is something that is really going to resonate with other people and allow you to stand out among anyone else. And also, don't be afraid ever to do something that someone else isn't doing. A lot of times people think like, oh, I'm not going to do that because my idea is so new, it's so, maybe people are not going to be receptive of it, but that doesn't matter. The most ingenious ideas come from your creativity, innovation that no one else is doing, and just allow the evolution of that and see where it takes you. Don't ever settle for anything that you're just trying to fit in, whether that's, you know, the way you live your life with society. Always stand out and try to be yourself. It's really what inspired me to go and travel the world instead of taking the regular corporate path or path right out of university, and really just listen to your heart and do what feels right for yourself. And that is for your life, for your business, and everything else that you do. And another tip I would do is make sure that you always find someone like a mentor, a coach, or someone that inspires you that you can either work with or really just follow up with to get some insight. It could be someone that has had similar experience to what you want, or someone who's done something similar to what you want, or maybe it's exactly what you want to do. But for instance, one of my very first mentors, his name's Dave Meltzer. You might know him from Sports King or Elevator Pitch on entrepreneur.com. But I encountered him on Instagram and I started working with him as my mentor. And even though he comes from the sporting world, I just vibe and resonate so much with his messaging. And actually one of his emails I got this morning really resonated with the nerves and the mindset I was in right before giving my guest speaking for the summit. So just find someone that really just can push your boundaries and make you think bigger. You always want to think bigger versus think the safe way, and really just go outside of your box and just think, dream big ideas and go for it. Don't limit yourself with goals. Don't place goals on anything, because that's just adding more limitations to your life or your ideas, because you hit a goal and then what, so just always, do what feels right for you and follow your own path and just keep on trying. That leads into one of the hard, I wrote some questions down for myself, but hi, Bianca. Feel free to ask any questions or anything about anything at all if you like. What's one of the hardest things that I face while starting a business? Well, business is hard. Starting a business is hard, especially from complete scratch, especially when it's your own idea. So it was a lot of groundwork of figuring out how to start a business, how to start an online business. So I dug deep into the research and really studied every single aspect of it, and I'm still learning more. You're always going to be learning more. But I studied how to, start an online business, what kind of online businesses are there, and all the technical aspects of that, like what is a sales funnel, how to do a coaching session, how to create products. And then I also studied how to do Facebook ads and everything. So the internet's really, hi there, the internet's really powerful. So all the information is out there, but it's up to you to go about and finding that, or finding someone who is able to help you do that. So another thing that was really hard with starting a business is I'm a really nice person. So of course, putting it out there, especially in the online world, you're opening yourself up to the opportunity to a lot of criticism, critiques, and negativity. So that is something that you have to really push through as an entrepreneur, because your ideas might be so new, or you just not, maybe, I don't know, you counter so many different people in the online world. So it's really just about growing a thick skin and being able to, push through that and overcome that. And instead of letting criticism or critiques get you down, you're able to really use that to help you grow and help you learn as an entrepreneur, in business, as a human being overall, because you can't control what people say to you, or when people say something to you, but you control how you react to it, how you let it affect you, if you choose to let it affect you. So when I decided to finally take any sort of negative questions or comments or negativity and really change my mindset on it, and I decided to see it as an opportunity to grow. Maybe I wasn't clarifying my message properly. Maybe I needed some more time to take time back and really figure out what am I trying to say that people are not understanding. So that's something else that was really hard that I continue to work on. So mindset in business is key. So being able to take time for yourself is really important. But more about a little bit about what I'm doing. So within the next few months, like I said, I'm going to be heading overseas. I'm in the talks with companies to be able to help them improve their workplace well-being and business traveler initiatives with my travel coach approach. So that's kind of what I'm up to. I launched this past year a travel and mindset book, which is on Amazon. So if you're ever looking for just travel advice or information, that is key. I put everything I did and know and learned to be able to travel to over 80 countries by the time that I was 30 into this book. So it's on ebook and it's on paperback as well. It's called Hey You Just Go. But yeah, so I was also just getting articles out there and spreading the awareness and stuff. So when you have an idea, just being able to really familiarize people with it and getting it out there and not being afraid to put yourself out there and network with everyone. So what are some hobbies of mine outside of work? Playing with my dog. Hopefully she doesn't bark. Come here, Soph. And doing art. I paint a lot of my pictures that I do. I love photography. I'm no photographer at all. I take pictures with my Android and I go and I paint my favorite photos, or I draw my favorite photos. Right now I'm currently working on some more tattoo designs for me. I'm going to be adding to this one here. So I am just playing around with that. So it's really important to be able to have these different things that you can do outside of your workload, because especially when you love what you do so much like I do, it can be really easy to get so obsessed with working on it all day, every day, all night. And it's just not really good for you to make yourself better as a business owner and as putting your mental health priority, make sure that you give yourself time to be able to do other things outside of work. I also watch a lot of like mindless shows with my mom, which is always really fun. So being able to spend time with my mom when I can is really important also. 3 things that you might not know about me would be I once competed in a Miss Illinois USA pageant, which was completely out of my realm, but that is something that I wanted to do that pushed me out of my comfort zone. So I've always tried to apply things that make me uncomfortable because I wanted to prove to myself that I can do it. And you're allowed to feel, hi Rebecca, hey girl, I miss you. I met Rebecca a long time ago. She was in the very first hostel that my mom stayed in Australia, and then I saw her last year in Laos. I love you. What was I saying? So being able to push yourself outside of your comfort zone and doing things that really challenge you. So it's normal to feel nerves and stress and anxiety and stuff, but it's to use that as a way to motivate yourself and to do different things. So it's really how you see your nerves and how you use it as a motivating factor versus something that really holds you back in life from doing anything. So I competed in this pageant. I'm not a pageant girl in any way, but it was definitely a learning lesson and really challenged me and was really different. And it's a fun memory to have. And then something else you might not know about me, I spent 3 summers as a camp counselor for the MS, Multiple Sclerosis Society here in Wisconsin. Northern Wisconsin is really, really beautiful. There's a lot of little lakes and islands and stuff too. So I spent 3 summers as a camp counselor for kids of different ages, and it's just a place where kids can, whose family or close family members or parents are affected by MS. And it's an organization that I started interning at my very first internship when I was in college in Chicago, and I just loved being around kids and being outdoors. So that was always really fun. And also I love to clean, which is something really odd that many people don't like to do, but I enjoy cleaning. It is a way for me to organize my thoughts. When I feel stressed, I can clean, and I feel like when your life is in order, your mind's in order. So that's something a little odd about me as well. But some fears of mine, oddly enough, even though I love to travel, I am afraid of flying. That's so strange, but I don't like to fly. But I do it anyways, obviously, especially because I love to travel. And in order to travel, I have to be able to fly. I mean, technically you don't, but to me, yeah. But also I have this weird fear called tryptophobia. Don't Google it. It's might be triggered, and I guess like there's a new article that came out that the new iPhone cameras, the 3 cameras, triggered people with tryptophobia. So you might have heard the word in the media lately, but essentially it's called like a fear of holes. I'm not afraid of holes, but it's just disgusting. But I knew one other person who did have it. So I'm not crazy. Some other interests of mine, I am obsessed with comedy, like stand-up comedy. I think in another life I wanted to be a comedian, Sophie. And I recently did a improv with a author at the GBTA I was at last month, which I talked about in a video and a lot of posts about, but it was like my first time doing improv or something very similar to it. But I love stand-up comedies, and I always find that adding comedy into your life is really important to be able to laugh, whether you're laughing with friends, you're laughing at a show, you're laughing to yourself, you're reading jokes, whatever it might be. Being able to laugh every day, especially in business, is really key because it's going to release these new hormones and endorphins in your head to get you into a better mindset. And I love to like go to comedy shows and watch comedy competitions as well. And also I'm obsessed with like dance competitions. I don't watch like Dancing with the Stars, but like hip hop videos and stuff, like I absolutely love it. And that stems from like my childhood. I used to have like breakdancing competitions and stuff. But what else do I have? And then also crime shows. I am in like another life. If I wasn't doing what I'm doing, I would be a like private investigator or a forensic scientist or something, because I am up all night watching every type of crime show that I can, because I find it really fascinating. But being able to incorporate a lot of other things into your life that you enjoy instead of just dog popped her head in. Instead of just focusing on your business all the time is really key. So I've been trying to incorporate a lot more of that, because starting a business and everything, I've been super, super crazy busy with so much progress and things that I've been doing with the launch of my program, and then, you know, keeping up with the companies that I'm talking to and creating new content and all this stuff. And a lot of people always ask me, because I've been to 80 countries by the time that I was 30, a lot of people always ask me if I put a number on things or if there's a goal. I don't, but I think I'll make fun with it now, and I'll say I'm 31, so maybe by the time that I'm 40, I'll be to 90 countries, maybe by 50, 100 countries. So, but I don't set a certain number. I have some upcoming plans this year. I am planning to go to Israel and Jordan, places I've always wanted to go to. But and then also do some traveling domestically, as well as over in Europe and Australia for business, and think about toying with the idea of going to Bali for a bit, because the weather is fantastic and it's cold here in the wintertime. And if you guys have any travel questions or anything at all, always feel free to reach out. Any business questions or anything. People always ask me like my favorite country I've been to. That's always a hard question, just because I have been to over 80. So I always say some of my favorites, which are the Philippines. Iceland is stunning. Indonesia is one of my favorites. And I really, really enjoyed Uruguay and Chile. I was just in Colombia. Okay, all of them. But there are a lot of my favorites there, because it depends on where you go. Like if you want somewhere warm, I love tropical fruits and stuff, so I love Southeast Asia, not only how cheap it is to travel over there, but also like the local markets and the fresh fruits and stuff like that. Hi, Ankit. Hi there. And yeah, so I really love a lot of those places, but Iceland is stunning. If you haven't been to Iceland, you should go. It's beautiful. It has literally every type of terrain and topography that you want. Waterfalls to green grass, to glaciers, to the black sand beaches, everything. The hot springs. It's really, really pretty. I've been there twice, and I plan to take my mom there. 3 tips for people planning on starting a business. So if you're ever thinking about starting a business, these are 3 things that I would recommend, or a couple things I would recommend for you, is to make sure that your passion aligns with what you're doing. Passion is key to be able for longevity in your business. If you're not passionate about what you do, especially if you come up with new ideas, no one's going to believe you and no one's going to resonate with it if you don't believe in it yourself. Passion, this is actually an article I just did in Youpreneur. Hi, Jeff. In Youpreneur, where I talked all about why passion is key for entrepreneurship and growing a thriving business. That's links on my page. But being able to have passion, it's what's going to get you out of a rut when you feel stuck. It's what's going to give you clarity when you feel a mental blockage. It's what's going to help you confidently talk about what you're doing, and people are always going to feel that energy from you, of that passion that you have behind what you do. Even if your ideas don't make complete sense, even if you don't have a complete game plan of what you're doing and how the logistics of something's going to work, if you have passion, it's what's going to keep you going. It's going to ultimately get you to that place that you're looking for. And then also, a lot of times people don't start a business because they're too afraid and they're waiting for that perfect moment. There's never a perfect moment to start anything, whether it's a blog, creating a website, starting a business. Like, there's no perfect time to do anything. Like, go on a trip, go now, do it now, or start the planning or process to go and do it. So whether it's a trip, start planning now. If it's starting a business, start writing down a list of ideas that you want to do. Think of all the things you're interested in. Think of the things that you enjoy doing, and are things that ideas you've had or problems you've realized or things you're passionate about. Create a list and start getting some traction. If you do something a little bit every single day, it's ultimately going to get you one step closer to doing what you want to do, whether it's going on a trip or it's starting a business or doing anything that you want. A lot of times people don't even put a blog out because they want a certain amount of blog posts before they do it. Just get it out there. Just start somewhere. Get your messaging out there. Start getting people to see it. Start getting people to resonate with it. Share your story. Talk about what you're doing. And your ideas and your concepts are always going to evolve. People want everything to look pretty. They want the website to look perfect. They want everything to look perfect. But that's always going to change. I promise you. In my business, I changed my website multiple times, and I'm still updating the content. I've changed my logos. I've changed my colors. I've changed all these logistics, and those are things that are meant to change. But really what's important is to take that time and do that inner work to create that foundation of your core values, your story that you're sharing, why you're doing what you're doing, where your passion's coming from, and creating that framework for your ideas so that you can then take that and put that into anything you're trying to do in your business. Does anyone have any questions for me? I'm more than happy to answer any questions about anything, business, travel, me, my life this past year. I want to thank everyone who has been so supportive of everything I do. And I know I post quite a bit about, the different articles that I'm in, or, my book or my business or whatnot, just really just trying to share what I'm doing out there, because it's such a new concept. But the responses that I've been getting from companies is super, super encouraging and really exciting. And I just want to be able to help people, as many as I can, whether it's in terms of travel or business, because it's something that I'm so passionate about, and it's also stuff that I wish that I had for people or someone to me a long time ago when I was just a confused backpacker trying to figure out my path in life. And where do I see my business 5 years from now? Well, I'm growing my travel coach network into a network, our community of travel coaches who all specialize in their own niche and who really believe in the wellness power in the mind, body, and soul of travel, and taking that as the foundation for what they do and really honing in on their own niche and their own focus in the travel industry to really cause a disruption and really cause this evolution in the industry, because there's so much space in the travel world that people haven't tapped into, because people tend to stay in what is already done or what is the norm. People think that the only jobs they can have in the travel industry are being paid to travel from a company, being a blogger, being an influencer, being a travel agent, being a travel booking manager, whatever it might be, but there's so much more to be done. But it's up to you to get your creative juices flowing and really tie into what you really want, and really taking action on that and getting out there and doing that, not being afraid to invest in yourself, invest in your time, invest your money, invest your approach. Change the way that you see money is another big thing in business. Is huge. People always ask me how I was able to fund my travels, or who pays for my travels. I pay for my travels. I fund my travels. I fund my business. So the way that you view money, and especially when you come to business, the way that you change money, because I went from a frugal budgeter backpacker to starting a business and funding it. So it's really changing your mindset in business is key on how you see money. A lot of times you might read that money is vibrations. It's energy. The more you put out there, the more you invest in yourself, the more you get back in return. So it really, if you believe in all this stuff, it's really how that you perceive it, and really just it helps you overall in so many different ways in your business and in your mindset. So I will end this now, but I just want to say thank you and hi to everyone, and show face and say I am so appreciative of everyone who's been reaching out with support and love for what I've been doing this past year, and watching the progress go from complete scratch of not knowing anything about business, don't even know what travel coach means, and putting meaning to it and creating this business that has gained so much traction. And I'm so excited for it. And I'm so excited to the people that I've met and I've helped with business already, and my clients in my program, and watching them thrive within their own business goals as well has been so reassuring. And just knowing that I'm on my path to making an impact in the corporate world and travel industry in so many ways, and the lives of other entrepreneurs, is so reassuring. So I just want to thank you guys. And if you ever have any questions about anything, please reach out. I'm never too busy to answer anything or help anyone with anything, whether it's, like I said, travel, business, mindset, life, anything at all. So thank you guys, and I hope you guys have a good day. Bye.